Hello, everybody. My name is Sanjuana. I'm a member of Group 5 with the topic syphilis. I will be talking about the modes of transmission, mechanisms and explanations, host factors, and environmental factors on my slides. To begin with, I would like to recap on what is syphilis. Like my group member Sarah already mentioned before, syphilis, its scientific name is Treponema pallidum, which is also known as the great imitator. It's known as a great imitator because it can take a form of a blister or a sore around the individual's mouth, or it can be found in the individual's genitals. Most of the time, syphilis is not recognizable, and it takes between 1 to 2 weeks for it to start showing the symptoms of the disease. Also, as mentioned before, syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease whose formal name is Treponema pallidum. Syphilis is a spiral-shaped bacterium with 10 to 20 coils that measures about 5 to 20 millimeters long and is only 0.1 to 0. millimeters wide. T. pallidum has no cellular membrane, and its only protection is 3 layers of rich molecules that include N-acetylmuriatic acid and N-acetylglucosamine acid, which makes it very easy to cure with the use of penicillin. Okay. Moving forward, the modes of transmission. Syphilis is transmitted through contact with a syphilis-infected sore during vaginal, anal, or oral sex. Furthermore, syphilis bacteria is known to be fragile, and transmission does not occur through contact in toilet seats, doorknobs, swimming pools, hot tubs, bathtubs, shared clothing, or eating utensils. Syphilis can only be transmitted through infected humans. Until now, there is no other known form of transmission other than human to human. In many cases, syphilis has been transmitted due to the lack of knowledge of the infected individual, which means that the individual might not have known or have a clue that he or she might be the carrier of syphilis. Syphilis disease can occur in the early latent phase, and it's less common to spread syphilis during the late latent phase. This bacteria is also known to be passed on to the offspring by passing through the mother's placenta, and can cause, in many cases, a still death of the offspring or a miscarriage. And if the baby is born with symptoms of syphilis, it can be born with a lot of health problems, which can include deformation of bones or just the regular symptoms around the skin. As my partner had already explained to you on her pictures that she showed, how syphilis in a later stage can be seen or identified. As mentioned before, syphilis can only be transmitted human to human. Until now, there has not been any other potential host. And below, you're going to see a picture of how syphilis begins. Stage 1, from 3 to 90 days after the exposure. Stage 2, body rash, 4 to 10 weeks after the initial infection. Stage 3, it affects the internal organs, which this is 3 to 15 years after the initial infection. In many cases, this is usually where, if the female is affected, syphilis can be passed through on the offspring. Moving forward, the environmental factors. Syphilis is known to be common to dry, hot climates and to rural areas of poor economic status, education, and poor personal hygiene. The disease is most common source of transmission occurs when a skin or mucous membranes comes in contact with infected skin lesions. The following slide is just a graph that shows the total cases of syphilis broken down by race and ethnicity, explained by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.